Hello, my name is Star and this is my book nook. We are doing the Booktube newbie tag. That's what we're doing today. Here is the first question, and that is, why did you start this channel? At the beginning of this year, I gave away a lot of my old books, and I was like, you know, these are taking up space. I don't have room for them, so I gave away a lot of my old books. And a few months after that, I was depressed. I was feeling very burnt out, and someone suggested to me to try an old hobby. Thought long and hard. I thought a lot about it. I was like, you know what brought me the most happiness? And that was books, and that was writing. I wanted a place where I could talk about my favorite books, and here we are. I'm gonna be focusing on my writing journey and my reading journey on this channel, and I'm really excited. I really like this next question. What are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? Well, I think the most glaring thing is that I'm a VTuber, so I have to get a little bit more crafty with the way that I make my videos, but I'm also an editor. I've edited videos for years and years. I think I'm up to the challenge on trying to figure out how to make my VTuber work with reading vlogs and just content like that. I like a lot of different types of books too. I don't really discriminate on what I read. Another unique thing that I think I can bring to Booktube is just, I really like writing. I used to write fan fiction. I am currently working on an epic fantasy series. You know, I don't know if it'll be fantasy, epic fantasy, high fantasy, or if I want to go straight down the romantasy route, because I really do actually like romantasy a lot. I think maybe a mixture will probably work for me, but I am working on a story. I'm still world building right now, just exploring the characters, trying to meet them, trying to figure out what their personalities are like, and their ins and outs. I'll show you one. Her name is Sarah. She's actually my D&D cleric. The first stories out of this world that I'm creating are going to be with her and her himbo or companion, Grim thing. But I'll tell you guys more about it as I develop more, because I'm still at the very beginning of this, trying to figure it all out. But I want to write something with these characters. So the next question is, why do I love reading? I love reading because no one interprets the same story the same way, and a story doesn't come alive until someone reads it. I know that's quite a common saying among authors and people who write, and even people who read, and it's true. Like, that's one of the things that I always enjoyed about writing fan fiction, is getting comments back, and people are like, oh, I never thought of it this way, or they get sucked into the world that you've created, and people will talk about things and interpret it completely 100% differently than I, as the author of the fanfiction, would, and it's so cool. Another thing I was actually thinking about when I was reading Jurassic Park is Michael Crichton. He has long since passed, but I was thinking, you know, these words came from his brain at a point in time where he was alive, and we were reading things that he thought that had to go from his brain to his fingertips into his typewriter or computer, whatever he wrote the book on. Authors are living with their books for months and years on end, and it's a labor of love and passion, and we get to experience that long after they're gone. In a kind of a way, it keeps them and their words alive, and I don't know, there's just something I find really cool about that. What book or series got me into reading? Ooh, okay. When I was a kid, I think the first chapter books I read were actually Harry Potter. So I think Harry Potter got me into reading longer books. And then as I got older, funnily enough, even though I have so many complaints about the series as a whole, A Court of Thorns and Roses got me into reading as an adult. It was even fan fiction or manga or anything or web novels. It was A Court of Thorns and Roses that started all of this. Despite whatever I do have to say about that series, that series will remain special to me, and Harry Potter will will remain special to me because those are two, I think, really critical moments in my reading journey, from being a kid to now being an adult, and just seeing how my reading tastes have changed from now to when I was a kid. But still, a lot of my reading tastes are the same. Like, I still love fantasy, but now I like science fiction, and I couldn't stand science fiction when I was a kid because I think honestly it's just because I couldn't understand it. Now I love it if I can find the right ones. And horror, and there's just so many cool things to read. Oh, okay. This one, I think it's an interesting question because I think I've kind of answered it, but I'd love to go into a little bit more detail. It's, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? And I think just because I'm a VTuber, I have to be very crafty with the way I do things. And that goes for anything that I dip my toes into with content creation. I have to learn how to navigate around being just a 2D or a 3D model, you know? I think with this channel specifically, it's going to be very special because I feel like I'm opening up a little bit more and showing more of my IRL stuff. Like in my last video, you guys saw my office. I haven't really shown it. You saw my VTuber posters and part of my book collection, and just showing that was a really scary for me, one, and two, it was very unusual for me to do because I like to keep things separate, and I'm a very private person, so just doing that took a lot. And I've been trying to vlog out in public and it's really hard. I have too much social anxiety or something, or I'm just shy. I don't like it when people look at me, and when you hold out your phone and you start filming books and stuff, people look at you, they're like, what are you doing? So I think just those feelings of self-consciousness, especially out in public, and me trying to open up a little bit more, and just being a VTuber and trying to make content around books while being a VTuber, I think are going to be very creatively fulfilling when I figure out a format that works. And also, they are my biggest challenges to overcome while making stuff for this channel. The next question is, where do you read? And this might sound a little unusual, but I actually sometimes read in VR. But hear me out on this. Okay, so I have a Quest, so it's not super heavy, and I can wear it not corded up and stuff. Sometimes when I really need an escape, there are so many vibey worlds in VR chat where you can just sit and read. There are libraries, there are gardens, you can read in space, you can read anywhere. So I'll just do that, and I'll pull up like a Kindle app or an ebook on my computer and project it into the headset, and that's and I'll just read that in VR, and it's so vibey, it's so nice. I mean, I've slept in VR before, but so for me, it's not uncomfortable. It's not an uncomfortable experience. It just really adds to the atmosphere of the book, and I think it really helps me like get in the the immersion. It really broadens the immersion of a book that I'm reading if I can get into a world in VR chat that's like similar to the book. If you want, I can make a video of some of the worlds I read in, if that's something that you want, because I think that would be a really fun video to do. The last question is, what kind of books do you like to read? I like fantasy books. Those are my bread and butter with reading. I read a lot of horror, and I read a lot of romance. But the thing with horror and romance is they don't give me the same feelings as fantasy books do. They don't give me the same feelings of escape that fantasy books do. And I think a really good example of a book that helped me escape when I was going through a rough patch mentally was actually The Hobbit. That's why I have it out right now, because we read this for our August book club for the Starling Book Club. My Discord, if you want to join that. I've read a lot of really good books since I've gotten back into reading, especially over the summer. I read so many books over the summer. Just for some reason, The Hobbit, I love this book. It took me back to those feelings when I first started playing World of Warcraft, where I started as this little blood elf going on quests, helping people, and then at the end you have to beat the big bad. And it's just, I had that feeling all those years ago from when I started WoW, when I was reading The Hobbit, which that's why I think I love fantasy books so much, and that's why I tend to gravitate more toward them, is because I love going going on an adventure with characters, found family, like people coming together and just sharing an adventure, helping each other get through that adventure. That's the reason why I actually did stick with ACOTAR, because I enjoyed reading Farah's journey. It was really cool. There's so many cool series I want to read. I want to get into Mistborn. I want to read Throne of Glass. I want to read The Wheel of Time and finish The Lord of the Rings. I still have the other 3 books I need to read for this. And then I have like the Asimov, iRobot, and the Foundation series. I want to read through those and The Expanse, and all of those are sci-fi or fantasy because they're the furthest things from reality that you can get. And those are the things that get me the feeling that it's 2013, I'm booting up WoW and playing it for the first time again. Okay, I think that's all the questions on this I'm going to answer. I hope that this video taught you a little bit more about me and what you can expect from this channel. And I think I have an idea of how I can do things now, what I want to do. And I am excited to share my book journey, my reading journey, and my writing journey with you guys. And I hope that we can make a cool community with books and talking about books and writing and all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you look forward to the next video. Bye-bye! Oh, also subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Okay, alright, for real, bye!